Welcome into NBA Now. I am Tom Downey. Some breaking news for you guys. Donovan Mitchell has been traded, not to the Knicks, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the Cavs kind of come out of nowhere and secure one of the best young available NBA players in a fairly massive haul going back to Utah with not quite the same caliber of draft picks that they got for Rudy Gobert necessarily. Here are the trade details. The Cavs, of course, get Donovan Mitchell. Collin Sexton goes to Utah. It is, as we'll get into in a little bit, part of a technical sign-in trade for Utah. Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji also going to Utah. 3 first-round picks, 2025, 2027, and 2029 are all unprotected, plus 2 pick swaps in 2026 and 2028. So Utah getting 5 first-round picks if we include those swaps involved there, since the Ted Stipend rule, the former Cleveland Cavaliers owner, doesn't allow you to trade picks in back-to-back years. It's so stupid. I hate that rule in the NBA. But that's the trade package. We'll go more in depth on the Cavs, Utah, and the Knicks side a little bit as well. But who do you think won the trade? Spam it for me in the comments section. C for the Cavaliers or J for the Utah Jazz. So Mitchell now goes to Cleveland, and it's one of the more intriguing moves this NBA offseason. And to be blunt, I love it for the Cleveland Cavs. They are getting a premier scoring guard, a significant upgrade over Collin Sexton. No disrespect intended from that standpoint there. Mitchell's been a baller his entire time, basically, in the NBA, consistently putting up 23-plus points per game over the last 4 years. He's been a 34-plus three-point percentage shooter. And, oh, by the way, he gets even better in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar in every sense of the word as far as I'm concerned. Even if he's not necessarily a premier defender, he and Darius Garland now will lead the backcourt for the Cleveland Cavs, but I love this move. It's aggressive. It adds talent to an already very good and very promising young core. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, etc. This Cavs roster now, I think, is built and primed to compete in the Eastern Conference this year. More on the Cavs and the Utah side, since they have all of the draft picks now, like they're the Thunder all of a sudden. But first, give me your one-word reaction to trade. Mine was wow. I was not ready for it at all. I was pretty shocked that move went down. But let me know in the comments. One word only, your one-word reaction to the trade. It's the pinned comment, actually, on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and give me that one-word reaction. Utah currently has their roster looking like this. They got some pieces, Walker Kessler, Collin Sexton. Now you add Ochai Agbaji to your roster as well as the number 14 overall pick for some depth. You could still trade away Bogdanovich. Maybe Malik Beasley ends up getting shopped at some point too. But the Jazz are very much not a contender this year. They would love to find a partner for Mike Conley. I think Bogdanovich gets moved. I don't think they're done wheeling and dealing yet. Utah wanted picks. They have a bunch now as well. The big addition, I guess, from this trade is Collin Sexton, who nobody really seemed to want from that standpoint. He did finally get a bag. Remember, this is a technical sign-in trade. Nobody made him a big offer. Utah then steps up, gives him $72 million over 4 years. So not a full-fledged max deal for Sexton, but pretty good money for a reliable guard who is going to be heavily involved in terms of usage and scoring chances for a Jazz team that is, let's call it what it is. They're rebuilding and tanking in 2022 and beyond. Now, today's show is made possible by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125. Put down at least $100, and they're going to give you an extra $125 for free. And that's $100 minimum deposit bonus. $125 is the bonus, by the way, percentage. So $100, $125, and matching all up to $600. Tons of NBA stuff, plus college football, NFL, that you can bet on. Here's where we sit. Post-trade, by the way, it was updated. The Eastern Conference odds. Boston Celtics are still your betting favorite at plus 250. The Bucks at plus 300. The Nets at plus 325. Miami and Philadelphia then at plus 750. The Cleveland Cavs have now jumped the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Hawks up to plus 1,400. I think there's still some decent value there for the Cleveland Cavaliers. As we'll get into more in a little bit, I like this roster quite a bit. But first, more on Utah's side. From the trades of Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, plus, other deals involving players they got back from the Gobert trade, Utah's added 7 first-round picks, 3 pick swaps, Collin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, Walker Kessler, 2 first-round picks from this year's class, those 2 guys, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Malik Beasley, who could be dealt still, Jared Vanderbilt, and Leandro Balmero. This is what we call, my friends, blowing it up. And officially, now with Donovan Mitchell on his way out, that's what the Jazz are doing. They are embracing the tank, and trader Danny Ainge once again gets all those draft picks to hoard and maybe not ever trade for a superstar. It's not what he likes to do, but trader Danny's back in full force in Utah. Now, the Jazz are not done making moves. We'll have more NBA news and rumors for you throughout the remainder of the off-season. I guess it's preseason kind of sort of for the NBA. Plus, of course, in-season and the start of next year's playoffs. Hit that big red button and subscribe for free for more NBA videos right now. Let's look now at the Cleveland Cavs side of things here. And this is a fun squad, man. Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, the forward center kind of combos there. They've got a lot of talent. Chetty Osman, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Love actually does still exist, as crazy as that might sound. The Cavs, even though they are still young and maybe not ready to make that full-fledged run, I think they're really good right now. I love the way the Cavs are building. I love what they've done in their second post-LeBron rebuild, and I'm sure when LeBron becomes a free agent in a few years, he'll link himself back to Cleveland somehow. So here's our first Cavs-focused question beyond who won the trade. Are they back? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section if you are buying this new-look Cavs team moving forward. On the other side of things, there are the New York Knicks. So my boy Marshall Green, who's live right now as I sit here filming this on our Knicks channel, he is in absolute shambles. The Knicks seem to think they were going to get this deal done, and they didn't want to give more than 2 unprotected first-round picks by having all that draft capital, and the Jazz didn't make the trade with them. Trader Danny found somebody else. Our Knicks fans are down bad. So is Marshall Green. If you're a Knicks fan and you want to drink your sorrows with other Knicks fans, go subscribe to our New York Knicks YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/KnicksTV. I do feel at least a little bit bad for Marshall Green right now. The Knicks then are kind of stuck with this lineup. R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, Julius Randle. They wanted Donovan Mitchell. And for all the linking that had gone on to Mitchell, I thought for sure they were going to get him. For the Knicks to not pull it off is pretty disappointing, I think, in the end. So one last time before we sign off here, the trade details. Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the shocking NBA trade. The Jazz get Collin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, 3 first-round picks, all unprotected 2025, 27, and 29 from Cleveland, plus 2 pick swaps, 2026 and 2028. The Cavs going all in with Mitchell as the Jazz truly embrace a rebuild moving forward with no Rudy Gobert and no Donovan Mitchell after those 2 never quite got the full-fledged playoff success they were hoping for.